The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is a long-running franchise that started in the 80s, and was a part of the huge 80s boom of franchises centered around selling toys, using comic books, TV shows, and even live concerts to do it. In my mind, TMNT stands tall with other venerated franchises, like Transformers and Masters of the Universe. Like both of those franchises, the TMNT have had many different forms and iterations, from their edgy indie comic book roots, to their family-friendly 80s cartoon, to the recent animated movie Mutant Mayhem that reimagines the story of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles for modern day kids. One thing about the Ninja Turtles I really like is that the franchise has never taken itself super seriously. It's a bizarre concept that lets itself be bizarre in the best ways. And one of those ways is releasing really silly toys. The original TMNT toy line was a huge hit and lasted much longer than normal toy lines, almost 10 years as opposed to a standard 3-year run. And since the toys lasted for so long, the company producing them, Playmates, got crazier and crazier, and eventually the turtles were astronauts, farmers, and banditos. It's fiesta time, dude! But what I wanted to talk about today is something even wackier, the mini crossovers of the TMNT. What's good, internet? Jake here, dumb as ever, and in today's video we're going to cover several toys, all of them from the mini crossovers of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, mostly from the past 5 years. It's true that the Turtles have always done crossovers. The original toy line featured the Turtles as both Star Trek characters and Universal monsters. I love this Invisible Man Mikey. He comes with a little removable mask. I feel like the amount of collaborations have increased a lot in the last 5 years though, and we've gotten a lot of specialized Ninja Turtles products, from Transformers to Godzilla. So I thought it would be fun to take a look at a bunch of these more recent collabs, and highlight some cool toys in the process. If you enjoyed the video, please consider liking and subscribing. And if you want to support me further, I have a merch store now. There are 2 designs in the shop currently. One is the default Really Dumb merch, which will always be in the store, and there's also the plushie dumbjake merch, which features a cute version of my avatar, and that will be leaving the store at some point in the near future. Some of my fans have already gotten their merch, and it's awesome to see my silly little YouTube thing having a tangible effect on the real world. Alright, without further ado, let's get into the video. Cobra Kai is one of those shows I only ever see in passing. Usually I'm at a family event avoiding people, and it happens to be on the TV for some reason. I like the original Karate Kid, but I don't think a Karate Kid extended universe is really something that has ever interested me. Though it must be doing something right considering it got 6 seasons, and a movie in the same universe was released this year. Does anyone remember that Cobra Kai started as a YouTube Red show? YouTube Red was the name for premium back in 2018, and I remember scoffing at the idea of watching any quote-unquote television show made for YouTube. Well, color me surprised when Cobra Kai moved over to Netflix after season 2. Maybe I judged you too harshly, Cobra Kai, though I still have no interest in the Miyagi-verse, which is literally what they call the Karate Kid universe, by the way. But I do have interest in the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles crossover, which was surprisingly restricted to just toys. A lot of crossovers I'll be talking about today have a supporting comic book, but not the Cobra Kai toys, which were released as 4-packs featuring the iconic Cobra Kai characters fighting the Ninja Turtles. The TMNT have all black bandanas instead of their usual colors, maybe as a reference to having black belts in karate. The Turtles are all basically the same toy, save for their braces, weapons, and karate outfits, which are made out of cloth goods, which is always nice to see on an action figure. The Turtles have kind of a crazy amount of articulation, even their individual fingers move. The Cobra Kai characters appear to be new molds, though I'm sure some pieces are shared between them. The characters are Daniel, Johnny, John Kreese, and Miguel. I'm not super impressed by these figures. They look okay, typical Playmates level of quality, but compared to the Turtles, their articulation is very lacking, especially for characters meant to do karate moves. Even though they're not amazing, I'm sure some Cobra Kai fans were excited to get these figures. Unsurprisingly, this was the only wave of figures to release, and I guess we'll never know why the Turtles were fighting Cobra Kai. I'm on record as not being a huge fan of Power Rangers, and preferring the original Japanese show Super Sentai, but I will say one of the best things about Power Rangers is the comic books, and the Power Rangers and the TMNT have actually had 2 crossover comic book series. I read the first one, and I actually loved it. The art is fantastic, and the story does a great job of mixing the 2 franchises together. The Turtles Turtles and April become Power Rangers, the Shredder becomes the Green Ranger, and even the Megazord becomes a turtle. The comic book implies that the Rangers and the TMNT just happen to live in the same universe, with the Power Rangers being well-known superheroes, while the Turtles hide in the shadows, still unknown to the general public. It's kind of crazy how seamlessly these two universes mix, not requiring any dumb universe hopping at all. They can just chill whenever, which is cool to think about. I wonder what other franchises could fit in the weird Turtle/Power Rangers world. Anyway, the comic book designs actually got brand new toys in Hasbro's Power Rangers Lightning collection. All 4 Turtles and April got figures based on their Power Ranger looks, and Tommy got a figure based on his Foot Clan disguise, while Shredder got a toy based on his Green Ranger form. I gotta say, it's really cool to see Hasbro's take on the Turtles, especially in their now iconic 6-inch action figure scale. Lightning collection had a lot of issues as a toy line, but I gotta say I appreciate the weirder stuff they did, like this TMNT crossover. All of the figures look amazing with excellent articulation. The Turtles, April, and Tommy all come with unmasked heads, and April even has a video camera and microphone. As cool and weird as these toys are, they must look pretty bizarre on a display shelf without any context from the comic book. Shredder is the best design in my opinion. His look mixed with the Green Ranger really works, and they even gave him a fabric cape, which is nice. I feel like this comic book is proof that you can mix the Ninja Turtles with anything, and the story will actually work because the Turtles and their world is so well established. Hey, I just wanted to pop in and say this video is sponsored by GamerSupps. GamerSupps is an energy drink mix that gives you the caffeine you need for the day, without all the drawbacks of soda or energy drinks. I really like it and recommend it, and if you use my code dumbjake at checkout, you'll get 10% off your order, and I'll get a little kickback. A win-win. Okay, ad over. Stranger Things was so hype when it first came out, and I think a lot of people still like it, but me personally, I really fell off, especially with the long waits between seasons. I think I'll probably watch the whole show whenever the final season comes out, because the first season of the show was actually great, and it enthralled the entire internet for the better part of a year. The comic book crossover with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is kind of interesting, with the kids running into very early versions of the Turtles. The original indie comic book that the TMNT came from was black and white, so there wasn't a need for them to have different colored bandanas at first. That was introduced with the cartoon. Any color images of the Turtles from the original comic depict them all with red masks. This is how they look in the Stranger Things crossover comic book, and they also feature similar proportions and faces to their original comic. I read the first issue, and this series didn't capture me like the Power Rangers crossover. It's similar in that the Turtles and Stranger Things kids live in the same universe, which feels normal in the Power Rangers comic and weird as hell in the Stranger Things comic. I think it's because the world of Stranger Things feels so much more serious, and while the 1985 Turtles are more serious than their cartoon counterparts, they're not that serious. I also feel like this comic book was made to specifically sell variant covers, which you could say for the Power Rangers as well, but the Stranger Things crossover just feels so much more obvious about being a cash-in. Which brings us to the toys. These figures are again by Playmates, and are packaged in 2 packs just like the Cobra Kai figures. I like how one character is always upside down no matter how you orientate the packaging. These sets are way lazier on the turtle front because all 4 turtle figures are the same, with the only difference being weapons and face expressions. I wish they were more creative with the turtles for these sets, and gave them outfits or something. The Stranger Things figures of Lucas, Eleven, Dustin, and Hopper are okay. Again, Playmates has a very simple and recognizable style when it comes to action figures, with the just okay articulation and obvious cuts, and decent but not amazing head sculpts and paint. Dustin is my favorite of the figures, though he was my favorite character on the show, so I'm just being biased here. The other figures look good, and I especially think their accessories are excellent. There are walkie-talkies, flashlights, and Walkmans to go around. I also have to mention the Waffle Ninja Star that comes in all 4 sets. That is really fun. Masters of the Universe is one of my favorite toy franchises that I don't talk about enough. Mattel has been pumping out toys for their 5-inch Origins line, which are the modern remakes of classic He-Man toys with new articulation, as well as a bunch of new characters that have been added to the line over the years. I was super into Masters when Origins launched, and I have a few of them in my collection. I think I stopped collecting because there was just so much on the market, and my pockets can only stretch so far for toys. That being said, Origins is a fantastic line, and they kind of did the Transformers Missing Link thing before Missing Link. This is where the TMNT come in. 3 years after the Origins line launched, they had covered a majority of Masters characters. And they threw a crazy curveball for both He-Man and TMNT fans by releasing the Turtles of Grayskull figures, which was not a simple crossover, but an entire toy line with multiple waves. I've never seen anything like this before, and quite frankly, the toy line is absolutely incredible. I should mention there is a tie-in comic, and I read the first issue. My first impression is that the story is okay, but I really love the art. Basically, the Turtles end up in Eternia, and Shredder works with Skeletor to use mutagen, the toxic ooze that created the Turtles, to corrupt Eternia so Skeletor can obtain the power of Castle Grayskull. As a result, many classic Masters and TMNT characters have been mutated or have taken on new looks. For example, Mikey is dressed like a barbarian and is even wearing a He-Man wig. The toy line has been coming out over the last 3 years, and I'm going to break all the toys into groups based on the year they released, starting at the end of 2023. The first wave of figures were very simple. It featured Donatello in his Man-at-Arms inspired gear, and Leonardo in his barbarian look. I love the shape of his swords, and I like that the armor pieces have shell patterns. The theming is on point in this toy line. Man-at-Arms is pretty similar to his normal self, though he is sporting new turtle-themed armor, and he even has a shell now. The weirdest toy in the first year is definitely mutated He-Man. His body is made of see-through purple plastic, and the bright green hair and orange accented vest give him a very Halloween vibe. This is He-Man after being fully consumed by mutagen. In the comic, he's like the Hulk and destroys everything in his wake before calming down. This look is really bizarre, but I kinda like it. 2024 brought on a much larger cast of characters, including the missing turtles Mikey and Raph. Michelangelo has this hilarious look. I love that he's just wearing a wig to cosplay as He-Man. Raph is awesome. I actually have this figure. I feel like his look is kind of inspired by Ram Man, especially the armor and helmet. The helmet comes off and his face sculpt is excellent. The shaping and expression really reminds me of the 2003 cartoon. Raph comes with one huge sai and a metal gauntlet with a sai attached to it, so Raph can get some Wolverine action in. Also, I haven't mentioned it, but origin figures are really interesting because you can pull them apart and mix and match pieces. And most accessories like armor comes off, so you can use that to customize your own characters. I think that's really fun, and the Turtles add a whole bunch of new pieces to the mix, so you can make even wackier characters. There are a lot of figures from 2024, but I'm going to list out the most standout toys for me. Mousejaw, who's a mix of Trapjaw and the Mousers, is so hilarious to me, and I love that he comes with a Mouser figure as well. Krang is a super impressive figure. I saw this guy in stores and passed on him, which I regret, to be honest. This dude was hefty. I love that his android body was reimagined as an ogre or orc. It just fits so well and looks so gruesome. Krang definitely feels like he would fit into the normal Masters cast. Shredder's design is pretty lame in my opinion, but Skeletor looks like he's in his element. Skeletor definitely has a Shredder vibe with his outfit, but honestly this looks like a costume Skeletor would wear in any universe. I really love the look of Ram Man, now becoming a literal Ram Man and sporting the same purple look as He-Man. He just looks so cool, and I love Ninja Turtle characters that are mutated humans. So this guy is just checking all the boxes for me. The line lasted so long we actually got an alternate Leonardo. This one is called Stealth Ninja Leonardo, and he looks sick with his hood and cape. Honestly, in Eternia, a talking turtle walking around isn't even that crazy. I'm not sure he even needs to go stealth mode. The coolest figure from 2024 has to be 2-Bop-Steady, which is a mutated form of the Turtles' enemies Bebop and Rocksteady, who have been combined into a two-headed monster. This is such a cool way to incorporate these two characters, and the head sculpts are so good. They're probably so annoyed that they got glued together like this. 2025 brought on new toys and a whole new theme, the Reptile Wars, which incorporates the evil Snake Men into the Turtles of Grayskull lore. I think the leader of the Snake Men is King Hiss, who is a dude made of snakes, which makes sense. Weirdly, the King Hiss figure can be King Hiss or a generic Foot Clan ninja. I feel like the Foot Clan ninja's body is like 5% too big for some reason. Among the Snake Men ranks is Rattlor, who looks way cooler than King Hiss, and I love all the blue and pink translucent pieces. Then there's Ninjor. I like Ninjor. shore. He's a ninja in the world of barbarians, and he's probably the perfect nemesis for TMNT. But what if we just made him a badass dragon? Yeah, this is sick as hell. Bro just has a dragon head now. How did the mutagen do that? Screw it. Who cares? This is too awesome to question. The dragon head is super detailed, and I love his wings and armor. The real leader of the Snake Men is probably Super Shredder, who has gone full snake mode. His tail is awesome, and I really enjoy the designs of his armor. He looks super menacing. But thank God, on the hero side we have Clamp Champ, who is a real Masters of the Universe character, whose whole deal is clamping stuff. In this case, he's got turtle armor, and honestly I like this look for him a lot more. We also have Mecha Neck, who is another hilarious character. His whole power is extending his neck upwards. Just his neck. Again, I kind of like this new design of Mecha Neck more than his normal design. We also got 3 new versions of Leonardo, Michelangelo, and Donatello. I'm not sure why Raphael didn't get a new figure, especially considering Leo already had 2, but maybe that means we'll see a new Raph in another wave. Leo looks like a modified version of his first costume. Donnie has a flaming bow staff and looks much more magical now, and Mikey is sporting snake armor. Sadly, he's missing his iconic He-Man hairpiece. This toy line is absolutely fantastic and is the gold star example of a great crossover, especially compared to the most recent collab with Masters and Transformers. This is a total tangent, but oh my god, this Transformers collab is so ass. He-Man characters wearing armor inspired by Transformers characters is such a low effort way to do a collab. Imagine if that's what they did for Turtles of Grayskull. That would have been so lame. And I'll give them credit, I don't hate everything about these toys. Man-at-Arm's mask looks cool, and I dig Skeletor's staff being mixed with Megatron's fusion cannon, but this collab feels like such a miss compared to Turtles of Grayskull. If this is the first video that you're seeing from me, you should know I'm a huge Transformers fan. It's definitely the toy franchise I know the most about, though the Transformers is so expansive that there's still plenty I don't know. When the TMNT and Transformers crossover was revealed, I was pretty impressed. Transformers has been doing collabs for a while now. The Transformers collaborative line started in 2019 with Ectotron, the Ghostbusters Transformer. Even though I'm not a big Ghostbusters fan, it was an exciting idea at the time. Hasbro has steadily put out these collabs, and personally, while I think a lot of them are cool, I also have very little interest in them as a Transformers fan. I already have so much to buy. Do I really need Transformers based on Street Fighter characters? But they finally got me with Party Wallop, a totally tubular transforming turtle. His turtle van mode is incredible. It looks just like the original cartoon, and the shell pattern on the roof is so nice to touch. The little shell on the grill comes off to reveal a pizza as well, which is a fun touch. The real magic of Party Wallop happens in robot mode. This Transformer has 5 different robot modes. The first is Party Wallop mode, which is the base form of the robot. He has a maskless head and a much more rotund body, with the front of the turtle van serving as his chest. You can take the turtle van chest off to reveal a body much more in line with the TMNT. Technically, this can also be Party Wallop, and you can put the chest armor on his arm as a shield. I kinda like Party Wallop as the fat turtle though. You can also swap the headpieces and belt buckle to turn Party Wallop into any of the 4 turtles. The set comes with all 4 weapons the turtles use as well. They all look really cool. But I will say Donnie's staff is pretty lame, and it tends to break easily. I guess you can headcanon whatever you want, but I like to think that these are the actual turtles turned into Transformers. Though you could also say that Party Wallop is cosplaying as them. Like most Transformers crossovers, there's not much supporting lore, so it's really up to you. I think as a toy and Transformer, Party Wallop is awesome. He's definitely got some flaws, but Hasbro did a great job of recreating the turtle van, and also adding in all of the turtle colors and weapons. Let me know if you want me to cover the rest of the Transformers collab line. I feel like there's a lot to chew on and discuss. Okay, so these next sections are focused towards 2 super new reveals, as in so new the toys aren't even out yet. The first thing I'm going to talk about was revealed at San Diego Comic-Con just a few weeks ago. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles X Godzilla. Now, Godzilla truly needs no introduction. He's a big stinky lizard and the king of the monsters. This collaboration is going to be supported by a comic book from IDW. Right now, IDW is pushing their own Godzilla comic book universe, similar to Skybound's Energon universe, and they're also publishing a ton of Godzilla spin-off comic books. So it makes perfect sense to do a TMNT TMNT X Godzilla crossover comic book. We don't have many details on it yet, but the first issue drops in November, and maybe the toys will drop around that time as well. The toys are made by Playmates, who also have the MonsterVerse toy license. Right now we've only seen 3 figures, and they're all turtles mixed with classic Godzilla kaiju, including Leonardo as Godzilla with 2 radioactive katana, Raphael as Rodan, and he has flame size and wings. I love his cartoonish beak mouth. And finally we have Mikey as King Ghidorah. And while he looks cool, I think making the other dragon head's shoulder armor is a miss. It would have been way cooler if his hands were the other heads, or even crazier if they had just given him 3 full heads. The sculpts look really fantastic though, and I can definitely see myself collecting these figures. I'm going to guess Donnie is Mechagodzilla, and we'll see how that prediction ages. I've always seen Hello Kitty around, but in the past couple of years, the brand's popularity has exploded, and most people even know the name of the company that creates Hello Kitty, Sanrio. Sanrio obviously has a bunch of other characters. Some of my faves are Karopi, Batsmaru, and Big Challenges. Real talk, I only know these characters because my girlfriend is super into the Hello Kitty game that came out on Steam, and I kinda love the cutesy world they live in, though I still don't know a lot of the lore details. Obviously, I'm talking about this because TMNT is doing a collab with Sanrio in the most unexpected way. A few months ago, Hello Kitty collabed with Yu-Gi-Oh! As McDonald's Happy Meal toys, of all things. And they're back at it again with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles collab, featuring your favorite Sanrio characters like Kuromi, My Melody, Cinnamoroll, Batsmaru, and of course Hello Kitty. This Happy Meal line features all of these characters dressed as different turtles, and doing different poses. There are 12 different toys to get, with several characters with multiple toys. Hello Kitty has 5 toys, which is the most. You can literally make an entire turtle team out of Hello Kitties. There are also non-green versions, so you can have a team of Kuromi, Hello Kitty, My Melody, and Cinnamoroll cosplaying as the turtles. This is probably the set I would be after. Turtlefied Hello Kitty and company is cool, but I kinda like the cosplay look better, and Cinnamoroll as Donnie is just so adorable. Batsmaru got exactly 1 figure, while everyone has at least 2. They should have made him Venus, that random 5th turtle from that one show. Overall, this is a super cute collaboration, and I do suspect I will be ordering a few Happy Meals at the ripe age of 28. The promotion is supposed to start on the 12th, so if you're after these, be on the lookout. The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is truly a bizarre franchise that seems to be able to blend in with any other universe. And maybe, just maybe, there are some totally radical teenage turtles in this universe too. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. And if you'd like to support me further, I have a YouTube membership and Patreon. For $1 a month, both platforms give you the same thing. Access to my private Discord server where we do monthly movie nights and weekly toku nights, and weekly exclusive videos called Toy Dives, where I talk about a random toy line. In one of the recent episodes, I talked about Charlie and the Chocolate Factory toys, which I didn't even know existed before I made that video. As a reminder, I now have merch. Check out the link in my description to get your very own Dumb Jake shirt, hoodie, or sticker. I'll see you in the next one. Ciao.